What we call smell is composed of chemical particles from objects. For instance, what we perceive as the scent of freshly ground coffee is actually molecules from the coffee itself flying through the air. Smell is directly proportional to vibration. A just-baked cake fresh out of the oven gives out a much richer scent than a stale one. This is because the cake through the air due to its oven-baked heat, and molecules can cover a very piece. Although molecules smell, water does not, and this characteristic is a great blessing for us. For instance, many drops on it smell exactly the same. Each other are differences. These differences are so delicate that through the change of a single carbon atom, a pleasant smell is one. The result of bonds that form each molecule time to perform. Design was created by God. But how do we smell, and how do we recognize smells? Now let's to these questions. Every time we breathe, we call air floods into our nostrils. Also contained within this air mix are microscopic smell molecules. What enters our noses is channeled into the olfactory receptors by turbinate bones. It's in this way the smell the olfactory receptors at the top of the nose. In this area, get from these molecules to the brain, and the brain's smell center gathers messages to smell and assesses this information at lightning speed. This leads to the sensation of smell. Chemical analysis laboratory. It is and separate. What's quite interesting of all these products between the coffee and are recognizing their smell. Flawless system obviously cannot be the Like all the other, smell is all design. Art of our day, into the sense of smell. Into this sense serves to reveal just how superb this complex system is. Now let's examine more closely the various parts of the system. The nasal cavity that detects smell is just beneath, is lined with a sticky mucus fluid. Membrane measures just 0.06 of a millimeter thick, which is ideal. If this membrane were a weaker sense of smell, it would have weakened our tiny nasal hairs would have left open to damage and destruction. Smelling starts at the mucous membrane. Molecules pass through this membrane in order to meet the nasal hair. A binding protein just for this. These proteins in the mucous membrane serve as their guide. This order is both striking and at the same time constitutes evidence of an amazing creation. Specialized olfactory nerve cells are another part of the smelling system. The basic task of these cells is to take messages from smell molecules and take them to the olfactory bulbs. A smell cell is formed by three main parts. The cell's body in the middle, and then on one end, tiny hairs, and on the other, the odor molecules first interact with the receptors on the hair-like or olfactory membrane. Each olfactory neuron is topped by between which range in length from about 1/10 of a millimeter to 1/15. The cilia work using an extraordinary communication. Odor molecules that melt meet special receptors in the cilia. This meeting is as sensitive and unique as a lock and a key. During this meeting, a signal is given in the olfactory. Form the molecules into electrical. At this point, astonishing things happen at the axon, or end of the smell cell. Work together in order to in the cell olfactory bulb. This by forming a bundle in order to reach the olfactory. Pass through a porous, paper-thin piece. It would be no exaggeration to call the special design of the cribriform plate a miracle. This bone has passage of neurons. Had not been designed in just this way, it would have been impossible for the nerves to connect to each other, and so would have even if all the other pieces of the system were right in place. By virtue of this perfect planning behind all the details of our smell system, communication in the smell cells. The olfactory bulb is another important part of the olfactory or smell system. The olfactory bulb lies on the front side of the brain, on top of the nasal cavity, concealed upon the brain case. There are two olfactory, just as the nose has two nasal cavities. Each of these lobes is about as big as a pea. Olfactory lobes work like a newsroom at a TV station or newspaper. All the signals coming in from the olfactory receptor gather in this center. Billions of pieces of information are organized here. Later, they are sent to the related spots in the brain through smell nerves in order to be reassessed. In other words, this tiny organ constantly sorts through and coordinates of different smell cells. This perfect system is obviously an extraordinary piece of work. Design shows God's art of creation. Anyone seeing The origin of such an excellent design in a mere chain of coincidences would be running a fool's errand. In God explains how to such people. Do you then disbelieve in Him who created you from dust, then from a drop of sperm, and then formed you as a man? He is, however, God, my Lord, and I will not associate anyone with my Lord. When someone says the word nose, we all naturally think of the sense of have shown that actually only 5% of our noses are used towards the remaining perform two very important jobs of the respiratory system. The first of these tasks is to warm the air which we take in every second. The mucus layer that covers the inside of the nose humidifies the air by giving out water vapor. The capillaries right under this mucus layer help to warm the air. Air becomes suitable for sensitive lungs. This mechanism works like a very advanced air conditioning. It regulates the and humidity of the air. The second task is to act as a gatekeeper against microbes and dust. Harmful particles get caught by the mucus layer, then the hair-like cilia. Is pushed by the cilia, the pharynx. Later, it is expelled from the body by coughing, or else swallowed and then destroyed by acids in the stomach. The mucus-producing cells and cilia work like a personal chemical purification power plant built right into our noses. You can clearly see that these systems in our noses are an example of unparalleled and yet further evidence of God explains His power of creation like this in the Quran. Everything is obedient to Him, the originator of the heavens